your brother does something wrong, go and have it out with him alone, between you two selves. If he listens to you, you have won back your brother. If he does not listen, take 1 or 2 others along with you. The evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses is required to sustain any charge. But if he refuses to listen to these, report it to the community. And if he refuses to listen to the community, treat him like a pagan or a tax collector. I tell you solemnly, whatever you bind on earth shall be considered bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth shall be considered loosed in heaven. I tell you solemnly once again, if 2 of you on earth agree to ask anything at all, it will be granted to you by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 meet in my name, I shall be there with them.
I find that reading a very challenging reading.
Me too. I found that as well. I had to read over it and over it and over it just to grasp what it was saying to me.
Yes. It's like Jesus doesn't have any soft words. He says, do it. And if that doesn't happen, do this. And if that doesn't happen, do this. And all the time he's basically wanting the person to be reconciled, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah, well, 3 things came to mind when I was reading it. Reconciliation for one, forgiveness for one, and love was the other thing that I thought, came through for me.
Talk to me a bit more about that. That sounds good.
Well, it's taking time to understand, because when when you think about the time this gospel was written, and to this day you still have these differences with with your neighbours or brothers in the community, and it's a timely reminder, because no matter how often you hear this gospel, but you're always offline, line with your other fellow member from the community, and numbers for some reason makes all the difference too from what the gospel is saying. That for the first time, if it doesn't work between the 2 of you, then just get other members
involved. Yes. And I think Jesus had a wisdom there, because sometimes when it's just you and the person who's done the wrong thing, or what you perceive as the wrong thing, it can be kind of head to head, can't it? But if you have a group of you sitting down and you pray a bit first and then you discuss the issue, sometimes it works out better.
That's right.
And then sometimes it doesn't, and you've got to go to the next step.
Although that was quite a strong statement. Jesus was talking about whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. And it talks about forgiveness in one sense, or at least that's how I understand it. And the message for me is that, it is, very good. Jesus is encouraging us to live in harmony with one another.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. That message of forgiveness is really strong, and I think next Sunday's gospel is also going to be about forgiveness. And it's kind of like Jesus, one of the marks of us as Catholic Christians is our level of forgiveness.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I'm on a school board of trustees, and we say the difference in Catholic schools is that they will give the child not just 2 chances, but 3 or 4 or 5 chances, in the hope that they will see that they are part of a community that welcomes them. Sometimes in the long run it doesn't work out, but most times it does.
Yeah, well, it just got me thinking, especially about my own self and the way I live, my Christian life. And the way I see it, if you're setting a good example for yourself, and then it has that flow-on effect, it just...
Do you see that in your family?
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
Because when I'm being a good mother to the children, they respond in a positive way as well. It matters, doesn't it?
They pick up that kind of internal attitude, don't they?
Yes.
And I think Jesus is talking that too. At the end where he says, where 2 or 3 are gathered, I'm there,
Yes.
And that's kind of like in your family too. If you are gathered in that harmony of spirit, Jesus is there.
That's right. Yeah, that's why I said that numbers, is very important too. Because when you're in numbers and you're with your family together, then it's a sign that you're in a good relationship. Yeah.
That's very well worth thinking about. But thank you for that, and I appreciate being able to share with a woman who's a mother and a professional woman and someone who carries her Catholicity out into the world. And you're a great model.
Oh, thank you, Sister Stephanie. It's a
pleasure.
pleasure.
After I love
Say hi.